Hello, this is literally 10 seconds after I stopped recording the last one, and I just coughed my lungs up. Anyway, before we start, I'm just going to say, I've never really been a fan of Feathery, even though she is the Pisces troll and I am Pisces. But I really hope this route helps with my opinion of her, because a lot of people don't really like Feathery because she did pretty much nothing and kind of was a jackass to Erd, and in return to him being a jackass to her. But, I hope that we have a good time with Feathery, Life in the Dream House. As you've had occasion to remark before, Alternia is a dark world, both because it's night all day long and because of its hideously brutal society where the strong prey on the weak prey on the weaker, and all this preying ends only when the survivors are shipped out to prey on everyone else in the galaxy. Alternia's cruelty has been on your mind for a long time, but recently it's begun to feel intolerable. You decide to take a walk in the woods to calm yourself, but it seems that with every step your mood only grows darker, your agitation greater. As you walk, you remember the name of Alternian friends who have fallen to the planet's injustices, and your mood goes from bad to worse. You've been waiting around like a spoiled, self-centered narrative device for a lightning bolt of illumination to reveal your reason for living, to explain your peculiar and insatiable hunger for friendship, and to show you the destiny attached to it. You think you know who caused this, but why? You've been sitting here like a child waiting for a teacher to explain the answer to a difficult math question. Riska and Teresa are arming up to change the world, and what are you doing? Your usual bullshit. You're thinking, you're navel-gazing. And then with a sudden blinding clarity you understand. Riska is right, Teresa is right, the answer is revolution. Who gives a shit? Who cares about what some big dumb universe thinks your destiny should be? You'll take Dreambolder's advice and choose your own fate. Take the answer to the meaning of your life into your own hands, set your own course. The gods, the fates, the universe, or whoever will have to jump back pretty sharply because your direction is clear to you at last. Your agitation turns to indignation, your indignation to outrage, outrage to anger, anger to fury, fury to frosty, frosty to white-hot resolve. The horrors of this planet have got to stop, and you are feeling particularly dramatic today, doubtless due in part to the shift in narrative tone and general prose quality in this episode, so now is the time. Alternia's cruelty and violence have upset and shocked you since you arrived, but as more and more of the population suffering under these wrongs have become your personal friends, it has become unbearable. You've been wondering all along who will make it stop. Now you know the answer. If you are the main character, then you have to be the one to get the ball rolling, and you've begun to suspect that you can't die for reasons seemingly tied to your function as a narrative device. So that's a bit of characterization you can bring to bear. No longer will you linger in the wings, waiting for the narrative to summon you to heroics. With this momentous decision grinding you for unstinting effort, you set your mind to the question of how to accomplish it. You start by making an inventory of the strengths and weaknesses you possess and can bring to bear on the task. Strengths: 1. Experience drumming up friendship in the most unlikely situations. 2. Ability to travel instantaneously anywhere you want to go. Weaknesses: everything else. This helpful mental exercise clarifies matters significantly. You see clearly that the only way for a single humble being such as yourself to change Alternia is to go directly to the point of maximum leverage. In other words, straight to the top. You'll need both of your resources in this quest. You'll need to travel superhumanly and superluminally into the immediate company of Alternia's ruler and throw your full friendship game on them, with the objective of persuading them to initiate reforms, change rules, and set the planet on a course to civilization. But your darting intellect realises something else. It won't be easy. The ruler of a world such as Alternia must be a fearsome, foul creature, a monster of no ordinary loathsomeness and cruelty. On Alternia you've seen gigantic ravening luci, genocidal clowns, murderous highbloods, and every kind of grisly crime, to a point making belief in Santa Claus almost impossible. It stands to reason that leader of such a world must also be the cruelest, gruesomest, most terrifying being of them all, a being of nearly impossible evil. The Condus is, but Feathery isn't. I know they're building this thing up and then it'll just be Feathery going, "Hi, come in," but Feathery isn't the ruler right now, she's just the heiress. But, she is the only fuchsia blood on the planet. For the first time since this plan caught fire in your mind, a whisper of doubt creeps in. It occurs to you that the most likely outcome of your quest for the reformation of Alternia is a scenario where your internal organs are festooned over a wide area, your eyes popped out of your skull, and your brain splattered to a fine mist. Ugh. While experience suggests that you're non-killable, that sort of thing may offend, not to mention be excruciatingly painful. Maybe it'd be a better idea to have a light lunch and lie down until your reforming mood passes. Oh, come on, if you, an indispensable narrative device with really nearly superhuman befriending powers and actually superhuman travelling powers, won't try to reform Alternia, who will? Having no pride, no grit, no old college spirit, go back and select the right answer. Like... Okay, press on fearlessly with my quest. Scorning all difficulties, you decide to press on fearlessly with your quest. You gather yourself, consign your soul to heaven or whatever, and prepare for the worst. You close your eyes and think, take me to the highest being on Alternia. Then you grit your teeth and prepare for the ultimate horror. You feel this familiar sensation of superhuman/superluminal travel, and the world changes around you, rendering you somewhere else. Somewhere that feels quite different from your previous forest location. Very different, actually. A lot wetter. It quickly becomes apparent that there's good news and bad news. The good news is that instead of an eldritch monster, you've materialised next to a rather pleasant-looking troll girl with fins on her head and wearing goggles and a tiara. The bad news is that you're drowning and you seem to have materialised in the middle of an ocean. Glub, kelp, your own greeting may seem a bit less cheery in that it consists of thrashing wildly with your eyes bugging out as you fight not to inhale while trying to concentrate on zapping yourself the heck out of there. The troll girl watches in astonishment but suddenly seems to understand. You see her take a big breath of water through some gills on her neck, and then something starts to come out of her mouth. A bubble. The bubble expands and expands until you feel its boundary break over you, and suddenly you can breathe. You collapse coughing and gasping onto its floor, which feels like the inside of a huge submerged balloon, yielding but effectively keeping the water at bay. The troll girl sits across from you in the bottom of the bubble, studying you curiously and anxiously. Glub, 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 glub. Are you okay? Recovering from your brush with drowning, you're able to notice with relief that despite her conversational quirks, she looks friendly, even glad to see you. You try to say something, but all that comes out of your mouth is water and a spluttering sound. I don't speak whatever language that is. It is very pretty, though. You burp and some water trickles out of your ears. Sorry, I still don't understand. Do you speak any Alternian? With a great effort, you gasp yes. Oh, yay! My name is Feathery Pages. Glub, glub, what's your name? You bubble weakly. It's nice to meet you, Blub. You nod politely, expel another half-gallon of water, then weakly say that it's very nice to meet her too. Not least because if she hadn't been there, things might have gotten unpleasant for you. Oh, I really like Feathery so far. She's nice to me. You're welcome, but what are you doing here? Almost nobody comes this way. It's not really on the way to an enemy where. She looks sad when she says it, and you wonder that some poor troll child should be living all by herself way out in these submerged parts so far from anyone. How did you manage to appear from nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack. Glub, glub. You tell her that you are trying to use some superhuman powers you have to go visit the highest being on Alternia. The troll girl seems to perk up at this. You wanted to come visit me? You shake your head vigorously to try to get the water out of your ears. The troll girl looks disappointed. Glub, you didn't come to see me? You apologise and say you're quite happy to be visiting her, and that you misheard her last remark. You thought she had implied that she was the highest being in Alternia. It just goes to show how deep submergence and waterlogging can cloud your hearing. Oh no, Glub, you heard me right. I am the highest being in Alternia most of the time. I am the future Empress, heiress to the throne of the Alternian Empire, which is a great big glubbing pile of whale poop as far as I'm concerned. What? You look around for the multiple razor-toothed, fry-breathing, acid-spitting heads, tearing claws, and bad attitude that you're sure Alternia's highest being must have. But then you start to remember your Alternian social science. You haven't had any formal Alternian education. You're not even sure narrative devices, however indispensable, are eligible to sign up for classes, but you pick this stuff up when you hang around a place long enough. So you know that the Empress spends most of her time off-planet, leading merciless troll hordes in conquest of the galaxy. You also know that there's only ever one other member of her royal fuchsia bloodline, the heiress, in existence at any time, as long as the Condis doesn't kill her on her rare visits to the home planet, that is. The troll girl glubs sadly, and you realise that being the only fuchsia blood on the planet must be lonely. Not only would you have enough strength to accidentally accidentally tear any troll who visited you limb from limb without noticing, but we've heard some sinister things about the heiress's Lucis. Something about it being the size of a continent, hungry as the void of space and evil as the hell devils go to if they're bad devils. Something that might discourage casual visits by friends who don't want to double as snacks. But at the same time, you wonder that such a seemingly agreeable and sensitive troll as this girl would preside over such a grindingly horrible planet as Alternia. How can she live with herself? Does she even know what goes on outside her insular little ocean? But you put all that aside for now. Here you are, right where you wanted to be when you made your master plan for Alternian reform. You haven't been devoured, dismembered, or decapitated, and the person you want to persuade seems eminently persuadable, not to mention friendable. So you're ahead of the game so far. Time to take full advantage. Your Royal Highness, you begin. Glub, call me Fef, Glub. It's much friendlier to be on first name basis, and I'm so happy and excited to have another friend. Perfect. Phase 1 of your plan seems to have practically accomplished itself, but there's no time to waste, as the air in the bubble your new friend created is starting to get stuffy, and you know you're going to have to zap out of there soon. You mentioned in a casual conversational tone that you've been visiting Alternia for some time now. Glub, do you like it? It's certainly unusual. That's putting it lightly. I'm sure everyone has been incredibly mean to you. Well, yes, to start off with at least. The Sea Dwellers think they're so much better than everybody else, but they're just a bunch of shellfish, arrogant bassholes. The High Bloods prey on the Low Bloods, and no one cares how other people feel, or even if they live or die. Drones fly around killing anybody weak or useless. Oh, well, she seems to know. Maybe she's got plans of her own. Phase 2 of your plan is half in the bag already. You feel dizzy suddenly at how your quest is working out with the least effort on your part, and also from lack of oxygen. You're gasping for breath and a darkness is gathering at the edges of your vision. In about a minute, you're going to pass out from oxygen deprivation. What's to be done? Let's do this. You're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you and sounds are getting dim. With your next to last strength, you grab Fef's wrist and zap her back to the surface with you. You're not yet done persuading her to reform Alternia. But then you realise that you don't even know if she can breathe air. You feel it would be wrong to suffocate your new friend on your very first visit, so with your last strength you let go of her wrist and zap yourself back to the surface alone. You materialise superhumanly and superluminally back in the forest. You lie in the tall razor grass for a while, gasping, darkness receding from your eyes, sounds clearing in your ears. Once you feel sufficiently reoxygenated, you sit up. You have a pounding headache, but otherwise you seem fine. Your emotions are deeply conflicted. Yes, you can breathe, yes, you're safe, and yes, you realise with deep satisfaction you've made a new friend. But what about your quest to save Alternia? Viveri seems to be aware of the problems of her kingdom. Is she perhaps just waiting on the right ally, or Ely as she might call it? You're prepared to immediately zap back to finish the job. But you hesitate. What if you zap back into that bubble and merely continue to suffocate? Or what if she's already collapsed the bubble and you materialise in the water again? What if she's not there to rescue you, or is so annoyed at your rudely abrupt departure that she decides to just leave you to your own devices? What if Lucis notices you flashing in the water and snatches you with its eldritch tentacles for a plaything or hors d'oeuvres? Not that you can drown or suffocate or die of mastication, but can you really not? It felt like you were drowning and suffocating quite efficiently there only a few minutes ago. You hesitate some more. Even if you can't die, the torment of drowning and suffocating felt quite real. How long might such torment go on even if you didn't die? Wouldn't an eternity of suffocating or drowning be all that pleasant even if you kept on living? What about an eternity of being chewed and passing through a giant Lucis's digestive tract? You realise that you can't bring yourself to zap back to the heiress. You curse your weakness, but given a choice between death and eternal torment, you realise with belated humility that your choice would be neither, even if there's a chance you could save Alternia. You stand up sadly and begin walking back through the forest. Aww. Make a friend, but fail at life. Aw, me! Anyway, let's suffocate with Pfeffery. Stick around and test out this whole you can't die hypothesis. You're fading fast, a black tunnel is closing around you and sounds are getting dim. You wiggle your fingers and try to gasp out an entreaty. Glub, are you okay, Blub? For a reply, you crunch your throat, fall heavily to the floor and lose consciousness. You gradually regain consciousness, and as you do, you realise that air is going through your lungs. Fresh, oxygenated air, the most beautiful thing you've ever felt. You realise that you're in a you're in a palatial, though messy, bedroom, and while you can see underwater realms outside the windows, the room itself is dewatered. The fresh air seems to be coming from a large conch shell sitting on the floor nearby and humming quietly like an air purifier. You're swooned on a chaise lounge. How do I pronounce that? I'm not a fucking bougie person. And the fairy Pages is fanning you with a large palm frond. Glub, are you alright, Glub? Why didn't you tell me you couldn't breathe? You scared the pissing out of me. You struggle upright and try to smile bravely. You apologise for scaring her, but observe that one of the symptoms of not being able to breathe is not being able to talk. You thank her effusively for saving you. Glub, that's an empress's duty. Instead of encouraging people to be mean and hurt each other, she should do whatever she can to help them. A tear comes to your eye and a lump to your throat when she says that. If she really means it, you have a couple suggestions. Of course I mean it. I'm glued at how abyssal things have been around here. When I'm Empress, things are going to be different. You respectfully wonder how long it will be before she becomes Empress. Only a couple of thousand more sweeps. Oh cool, what happens to everyone Alternia in the meantime? Feferi looks momentarily thoughtful. I don't know, I haven't thought that part out. I guess I'm not equal to my big ideas. And what if, when she becomes Empress, she feels differently? How does she know her imperious condescension didn't feel the same way as Feferi does when she was her age? What if there's something that makes adult Empresses evil, something they can't control? What if Feferi grows up to be socially liberal but fiscally conservative? What a horrible thought! You have to strike while the iron is hot. Never leave till tomorrow what you could do today. A stitch in time saves 9. Procrastination is the thief of time. The longest journey starts with a single step. It's no use crying over spilt milk. You hope Feferi has been convinced because you're running out of cliches. Glub. The heiress still looks uncertain. Everything you say is plumb and true, but rebelling against the Empress, it would be so dangerous, and I'm not sure it would be right. It might cause Glub to make the vast Glub. That would destroy everyone, you know. Oh, Glub, you mean Gulp? You didn't realise that. You're not sure what the vast Glub is, but it sounds bad. Oh, it is. Before we do an enemy thing, we need more guidance and advice. As heiress, I have a special metaphysical periscope, you know. You didn't know that? It sounds made up, but a little metaphysical advice certainly might come in handy at a time like this. Without further delay, the heiress goes to an ornate jewel-encrusted tube that rises from the floor of her palatial bedroom. It seems to extend into the underwater depths though air pressure seems to be keeping the water from flowing through it into the room. She yells into the tube louder than you would have thought someone so agreeable-looking could yell. Glub, 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 glub. There's a swishing, gurgling sound and something extends through the tube into the room. Something pale and featureless as a lucis, but unmistakably a tentacle. A tentacle with a bulbous eye on the end of it. You dive behind a luxurious sofa. You'd rather that the heiress's lucis didn't see how plump and tasty you look. But almost immediately the eye settles itself on top of the tube and hardens into something that looks like a very large crystal ball. Shapes move and change inside this crystal ball, then resolve themselves into a scene you recognise, you realise with a shock. You come out from behind the sofa and approach the crystal ball, staring into it. In its depths, a dark place appears, and in the dark place a carnival carousel rotates, wooden horses going up and down, and above them naked plastic mannequins with plastic wings hanging from wires. Oh, it's Cloud Heaven! The Dark Carnival! Jumping Jehoshaphat, is that where Feferi gets her metaphysical advice? The scene grows clearer and closer, zooming in on one of the horses, and on the figure riding it, your heart begins to beat wildly. It can't be, but... Karaku! Oh my god! Karaku! Honk! Suddenly you're dancing around the room with joy. You grab Feferi and whirl her around you as you dance. But at first she gasps in surprise. My dogs are fucking barking. Why do they always have to bark? But then she gets into the spirit, grins and begins to whirl too. Her strength is such that she spins you like a fan blade, your blood all going to your legs, and when she lets you go and hit the wall like a bullet and ooze down to the floor. F. But as you recover consciousness, your joy is barely containable. You're never going to get to see that sweet, sweet fellow again. But now here he is. Evidently he's come up in the world because he's communicating exclusively with a royal fuchsia blood princess. You're so proud your heart feels about to explode. My friend Glub here. They have a plan. Well, you wouldn't go that far. I'm just not sure what to do. Honk, 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 honk. Just hold on. Very just some controls on the bejeweled tube. They must have translation controls, because in mid-sentence, Karako's remarks change from semantic honks into conversational language forms. And when they do, you realise this isn't the same Karako you knew way back when. Honk honk, what you not ask is not simple, little one. To truly know the answer, you must learn that there is much more to your story than meets the eye. You must expand your vision to see the big picture, and then the even bigger picture of that, of which that big picture is only a pixel. Yes, I know that. This isn't the usual Glub shit. Not silly quadrant Glub shit for wigglers. I need some real answers here. You study Karako. He's obviously the same troll, but the changes in him are equally obvious. His eyes are deep as well, his face grave and kind. Either he's done a lot of reading and undergone a lot of life experience since you last saw him, or else he's become the honking mouthpiece of some vast mystical wisdom-type entity, which offers metaphysical advice to princesses, perhaps whatever person or process sustains the Dark Carnival. But how did Karako get that job? You wave badly at Karako and as he and the heiress talk, but either he doesn't see you, or he no longer knows you, or he thinks imparting serious metaphysical advice is too solemn an occasion for waving like a maniac. Either way, he ignores you and keeps talking. Does a troll who paddles an ore vessel down a rushing river control her own fate, or does the river control her? The answer is, of course, both. The river has its force, but within that the troll can move her boat where she will. You are the heiress, and thus the fate that sweeps you along is fast and swift and powerful, but also your arms are strong and your ore vessel stout. Do not despair at your own strength. Yet there is more. We see by mystic means that the rushing river you navigate is itself being swept along by an unimaginably vast and rushing cosmic river, and that the planet which that vast cosmic river traverses is itself being swept along on an even infinitely greater supercosmic river. There are many such metaphysical cosmic meta-river levels in this particular instantiation of the story. Thus, even if you row with utmost power to change your course on the river you are navigating, the river you can see, the other meta-rivers continue to sweep you on as before without regard for any tiny adjustments you may make down at your level. Yet do not despair, you may yet, through long and deep meditation, transcend the bounds of this small world, rising higher and higher so that you are able to see and comprehend and transcend those vast and meta-vast cosmic river levels one by one. And what you can see, you learn how to navigate using meta-vessels and meta-ores fashioned from meta-cosmic star stuff. Yet also remain humble. Above the creator of this world is yet another creator, and above him yet another creator greater even than him, and above her yet another creator. These vast powers move all things like pieces on a chessboard, yet if the chess pieces grow wise enough they may move the movers. The powers that move in these universes upon universes are unimaginably large, and as yet you are unimaginably small, yet nonetheless for that you in your smallness and your small world are indispensable, like a key piece at the bottom of an infinitely tall Jenga tower. Knowing these things, do you wish to undertake the great work of awakening and enlightenment that will bear you into the full light of reality? It is a work of millions of mantras, thousands of sweeps, and hundreds of lives. Or knowing these things, do you instead choose to ply your vessel in the waters of your own world, remaining the person life has made you? Remaining a key yet unknowing piece of the towering stack of universes, influencing your own destiny on your corporeal river, swept to destinations beyond your understanding and fulfillment of the larger story? Either choice is noble, little one. Your only duty and burden is to choose the one that seems best to you. That was a long fucking speech. I don't know how I didn't run out of breath. For Fairy turns to you. It's clear that both courses described by the wise one speaking through Karako hold attraction for her, and that she's on a razor's edge between them. The merest word from you will be enough to lead her in one direction or the other. Which way do you choose to lead her? Meditation. Maybe we'll see Boulder again. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and tell your cheese-like companion to step forward too. A friend to share your transcendental journey is a blessing, and they may seem a noble and loyal cheese, though perhaps a bit overexcitable. You and Fairy step forward, and Karako's hand comes right out of the crystal ball, divides in two, and taps each of you on the forehead. At the tap, you feel a powerful fire course up your spine and through your chakras, and the roaring flames obliterate all the world. When the flames subside, a resonant silence reigns. You and Fairy are seated in full lotus position on either side of a fresh air conch, cosy in a bubble floating deep through the vast oceans of Alternia, where you can never be found by anyone until you emerge, fully enlightened with the power of the gods, many yugas hence. Oh. Okay. That was odd. But let's choose the other one. Let's influence the heiress to choose the path of worldly action and accomplishment. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and your marshmallow-like companions step forward too. A helpmate to share in your worldly efforts is a blessing, and they seem a noble and loyal marshmallow, though a bit manic in the hand-waving department. You have a fairy step forward, and Karako's hand comes right out the crystal ball, divides in two, and makes gestures of blessing over your heads. You immediately feel strength and courage coursing through you, and as the loosest tentacle turns back into an eye and withdraws from the tube, you turn to look into Pfeffery's sparkling eyes, and you see that she is feeling the same intrepid energy. Yay! I think a good portion of that was Glub shit, but still, he has an really good point somewhere in there. We can't just be canoes, we have to be fish. Even if at the end of the day we are just little minnows, we'll be whales to someone. You start to grab her for a dance, but recalling your previous experience, quickly turn the gesture into an offered high five, which she slaps, breaking several bones in your hand. What shall we do, you ask her? What's our plan? You feel the ability to accomplish any plan fairly overflowing from you. You'll have to introduce her to Terezi and Vriska to start off with at least. Yes. Glub, but first I need time to think. I'm so excited. I'm sure the purpose of your visit was to reveal the whale of a destiny that awaits us. But we need to consider our next move. Will you come back and visit me again soon after the tides have passed? Then we can compare notes. Yay, Glub, this is going to be fun. Yay! Oh, that was nice. Oh, Pfeffery's nice. Like, the only bad ending was, like, we still made friends with her anyway, so... I mean, Pfeffery's nice. I like her. But, like, I don't know, she seemed like something of a boring character to me in Main Homestuck, as she would have done to a lot of people, but, you know, it's fine. But I like her, I like Pfeffery. This was a bit confusing, but I still liked it. Anyway, I will see you in however many other weeks it bloody takes. Next, we'll probably have Alpha Kids. So goodbye.